Start recording everything, Gil.
You look like a silly Billy right now.
Well, I'm just being a little bit silly.
No. I really need you to take that bandana off.
I really like it.
I love how you attack me for the bandana, but not for the guy in the other top corner wearing those glasses.
Always shifting the focus,
Because
Gills?
you almost got away with that.
Wait a second.
What's up,
Bobby.
Cyberpunk?
Bobby, did you...
Hey, Cyberpunk's in
What's up,
town.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Wait, now that I think about it, did you steal George's look?
That's it. Oh my God!
This is not going to be a good one now.
I thought it could be a good one now. Fucking.
Four, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Bobby.
Wow, somebody's in a good mood. His name is Gilbert. He's got a flat face. He's got a flat face. Flat.
Macaroni.
Yeah. Andrew Santino is calling me going, can I do an Asian accent anymore? I don't know if you can. I said, go ahead. I give you the green light.
Yeah, the pass.
Asian accented up. Welcome to another episode of the TB. It's not a disease. It's your friendly neighborhood podcast.
Speaking of tuberculosis...
I just did a wet fart just now. Yeah, I just did one. Sorry, my bad. I want to address a couple of things before we begin, if I may.
I'm going to look at Rob Schneider on there.
Thank you so much for the support from, I think it was last week's episode. Was that the one? Last week's episode, it was a wild ride, baby.
This is a wild ride.
Wild ride.
Ride.
I know that we got a lot of positive emails, and I appreciate those emails. We also got a lot of negative ones. We got a lot of hate as well. Yeah, and I think that Khalyla got the brunt of it. You know, Khalyla got a lot of really nasty comments, not just on her social media, but on family and friends' social media. I've had people call me and go, what the fuck happened and whatnot. And there's a section of TigerBelly fans that don't agree with what we said last week. And they spewed a lot of hatred toward my girlfriend. And I just have a message for you. It's a dear message from my heart. And I love you, and nosotros papaya to you, and I hope you have a big life,
Yum yum,
a fulfilled life, and I hope you have love and happiness down the road. Please don't listen anymore. Don't listen anymore to us. If you don't like what we have to say and you don't agree with us, you don't have to rip us apart. Yeah, I'm saying this in a mindful, very authentic way. I love you. And I wish you a lot of joy and happiness.
It sounds passive-aggressive, babe.
Is it?
Yeah, your smile is scaring me a little bit.
I want to kiss your eyeballs. If I saw you on the street, I'll kiss your eyeball like that.
And Corona, yeah.
No, not Corona. Corona-free.
Corona-free eyeball kissing.
Yeah, I'll give you a side hug. You're not full frontal, but side, and go, good luck, buddy.
The ass-out hug.
But yeah, you know, if you're gonna just say vile fucking things and you think that we're weak because of our position, then I honestly, you know, there have been discussions, vague ones, about should we even stop doing this because it just got kind of out of control, and yeah, I didn't start this podcast to go to war with people. I did it because I like having fun and playing around, and I like talking with my friends. And this is just a medium that I've always enjoyed. I've enjoyed doing the radio shows on the road. I've enjoyed you know, friendly light banter, and I like being silly Billy because Papa's silly Billy. I don't give a shit, man.
Hey, all right.
I don't give a shit. All right. You know, we said what we said because we believe what we said, all right?
Did we misspeak?
We did
Probably.
misspeak. No, we did. I don't think we did. Heavy! So last night, you know, my brother, you know, he expressed the kind of love for me that I've never felt before in my life. So last night, my brother and I, we logged onto Warzone, and we did duos, and we got to the final circle, and I killed 4 guys in a row, and my brother said, "Bob, I've never been so proud of you in my life."
Wow.
He goes, "I love you so." He was crying. He goes, "I love you so much. All right, you're doing it, man. You're doing it, right?" And now shut the fuck up, because I'm in it.
You don't like that. You don't like
I don't
talking
like it.
during it. You don't like
No,
talking in the
shut
final
the fuck
circle.
up. I had to concentrate because you're the finals. The final circle.
Final circle. It's small.
Right, the smoke's coming in. Right, my gas mask breaks. Yeah, right, breaks. Right, and then I have 3 bullets. Right, and a bazooka, 1 missile. So he's watching every move, all the things. So a lot of times it's like, "What are you doing? You know what I mean? Don't hide underneath that dumpster," or whatever it might be. Oh, sorry, Remy. But this time it was like in tears. I've never seen him like this. "I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. What are you, Rambo?" He kept saying, "Rambo, you're Rambo." And I go, "I'm not Rambo." And obviously we got 3rd place.
Very good for duos.
But you've played with me before on that game.
We've won
a lot.
one.
We
Twice.
won one yesterday. We won a couple days ago. We won.
Yeah.
And I get what? 1 kill.
2 kills?
Maybe 1 or 2 kills, right? But to do 6, right, and get to that final circle was a big achievement, because for the first 50 games I played, and each game takes about 30 minutes sometimes in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
right? I'll get 1 kill, but my kill death ratio is 0 because I've died twice as more than I've killed. But in the last week or 2, I'm now beginning to offset that ratio, because I'm now figuring it out. But
KD, yeah.
it was a really good brotherly bonding experience last night, and it's the only time I get to hang out with my brother. So it is. And he makes me laugh. Does he not make you laugh?
He's very funny.
He's very cowardly.
He's very
In the guy.
Bob, should we just stay in the basement? But then you support it.
I know, I support it. So what my brother likes to do is he likes to go, "Okay, I see this house here? Let's just hang out in the basement all game." Mm-hmm. And then you're like, "Yeah, but we want to go out and kill people." "No, they'll come to us." So we'll sit there for 30 minutes. Sometimes we'll spray paint, because you can spray paint in the game. We'll spray paint
what are you spray painting?
You can spray paint like little pictures and different things.
I also had another question about the game when you're ready.
And then so my brother, "Okay, so guys, we'll just sit here." And we just sit there and we'll spray paint each other for 20 solid minutes. Nothing going on.
No shooting.
Right?
Well, that's a bonding experience.
Yeah. But then he'll go, "But I hear footsteps." And then we'll get on our bellies and get ready. You know what I mean? But that's the way my brother likes to play. What I beginning to do is go, "All right, let's go get after them."
Oh,
Right?
you have been playing more aggressive. It's very
I'm
shocking.
more aggressive now.
Very aggressive.
Am I not? So you have this map. What I would do is, "Okay, guys, let's go to the very edge of the map where no one's gonna be," right? But now I'm going, or let's land where everyone else is landing, right? And Gilbert, I have to say, you're very good at the game.
You too, sir.
My
I've won twice
question.
with you. You too, sir.
Thank you.
Now, my question is, I know that you've spent some money on your outfits.
$800, baby.
Oh, in
Nope.
real
No,
money?
You didn't.
Yeah,
no, you
baby.
didn't.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah,
No, you
cut
didn't.
that out.
You didn't
Bleep that
at
part.
all.
Bleep that part out.
No, you've only
Wait,
spent
wait.
$8.
$8.
$8, baby.
Okay, so would you say that a change, and how many outfits does that buy? I wanna know.
It's not outfits. So what you buy is you buy looks. So there's 16 characters, but each character has a different clothing apparatus.
Okay, so my question was, is it a morale boost? And when you put on a new look, do you feel like you play better?
No, but I play through the character. See, my brother just doesn't have doesn't care about his look. So the game just generates a certain look for him. So one game he's just like a standard white soldier.
Yeah.
Right. But for me, the girl I play, has
shop on Melrose.
Nike yoga pants. She does, right?
Yeah.
She has Nike
really
shoes.
does.
She does. She has a hat. She's got, I want him to look good. I have another guy that looks like Sacha Baron Cohen. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. The
Where
Muslim guy. Yeah.
He's got a red beautiful turban and scarves. I like the scarves.
You have the black lumberjack.
I have the black lumberjack.
Yeah,
very cool.
Wait,
Yeah,
with a cutoff? Is it? Do you have like cutoff flannel?
No, I think it's
no.
full,
full flannel.
red
It's
flannel.
full flannel.
But he's got a beanie.
Oh, you're right. Cutoff flannel is more punk.
Yeah, he looks real nice. And if I'm gonna die, I want to die looking good.
That's it.
I think it also, like my brother, in terms of fashion, like sometimes we'll go to a nice store, like a shoe store, and get something nice. I got a little extra money. You want a shoe? He goes, no, Bob, I like the shoes that I have, he always loves brown skater shoes. And they just look standard brown.
He's just very not wasteful. Like he will eat whatever is in his fridge and he will eat the leftovers. It was like they were raised by two completely different people, two completely different families, nowhere near each other.
Yeah. Like if a bagel's been in the fridge for 3 days, you know what I mean? I'll touch it and go, it's stale. I'll be passive aggressive too. Like we'll be she'll cook something up, right? And I'll know deep in my heart that the rice seems old.
It's not old rice.
I know, but not fresh, right? Just hear me out. And I'll say something like, this is what I want. I want to say, is this used rice that's been in the fridge? But that's not how it comes out. It comes out weird. It comes out, this rice is interesting. It tastes very interesting. Where'd you get it from?
And Khalyla, you know what that means, right? When you hear that,
Oh, immediately, like I like walk out of the dining room.
she gets into rage.
My parents were like this. If you didn't finish your cereal, I've said this before, they would pour the cereal back into the box with the milk in it.
Like all soggy?
Yeah.
That's very good.
So the next day, right? Next day, like if you didn't finish your meal, right? Like I went, I'm full. I'll tell you a story. I was at Hamburger Hamlet once.
What's that?
Hamburger Hamlet is what used to be my favorite hamburger restaurant in LA.
Hamburger Hamlet.
It's called Hamburger Hamlet. And I remember first moving to LA and it was kind of pricey, but I remember getting like a Comedy Store check and I'm like, I'm going to splurge on Hamburger Hamlet because it was a sit down kind of fine dining hamburger place. And I remember one time I saw David Spade there and I bragged. I ate by David. I called people from back home. I ate with David Spade. You know what I mean? At a restaurant, whatever. So I remember sitting there at Hamburger Hamlet once, and there was a rich father. He probably was an agent because I think APA, the agency, was in that building, right? And I remember he was with his son. His son must have been 8 years old, and I was like a table away. And the kid goes, he didn't even touch his hamburger. And his dad goes, Timmy, finish your hamburger. You don't like it? No, Timmy said. And his dad goes, well, what do you want to eat? And Timmy goes, I want spaghettis. And Timmy and the dad goes, okay, well, when we get home, we'll have mom make a spaghetti for you. Mm-hmm. And they left the restaurant. The hamburger was still sitting there, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking to myself, if I did that to my dad, you know what I mean? I want spaghettis. My dad would go, okay, you'll have spaghetti, but you're going to finish that hamburger. And now, if I didn't eat that hamburger there, we would have taken home. And if that night I didn't eat that hamburger, the next meal is that hamburger.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Right? I could spend 5 days and not eat that hamburger. Whatever I put in my body has to be that hamburger.
Well, you better eat it the first night then.
And that's how my parents were. Because the argument of the animal's dead, right? I know it's dead. And the animal died. But if that hamburger was already in the restaurant in the freezer or whatever it might be, I ain't kill no cow.
You're not getting it.
I know, but that's my thinking. I understand that.
I understand the thinking.
Yeah, I understand the thinking. But this is my justification. I don't kill no cow. I remember back in the day, we had video game consoles as kids, right? They're not as sophisticated, but my parents would never buy me one. Hey, Dad, can I get a Sega or whatever it might be been back then? No, do your homework.
No
Right?
Sonic.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I couldn't get. The only thing that I could get is I had a Blockbuster membership, and on the weekends, my parents allowed me to go and rent 2 or 3 movies.
Oh, damn, that's cool.
So that's where I saw Taxi Driver or whatever I consumed back then. And so I want to equate it back to my brother. Now, my brother. Let's go back to my brother.
Yeah.
All right. And the reason why I am the way I am and my brother is the way he is. My brother takes after my dad in many ways. My father wore bright blue golf pants. He looked like Papa Smurf.
But Korean.
Yeah, every day he would wear these light blue golf pants, right? Sandals, right? And like a blue polo. Like an old school blue polo, and that's all he wore.
I love that look so
I know it's
much.
a good look. It's a very good look, And my brother and my dad also used to live. We had stores all over the country, like clothing stores. So he had one up in Sacramento. So he would drive from San Diego and spend a week in Sacramento. So he had an apartment, and he would do that every other week. So he had an apartment in Sacramento. My brother went to Sacramento one time with him. And he described to me what my dad's apartment looked like. And there was no furniture at all, right? No couch, no bed, just a stove in the corner of the room, right? And a old school Korean kind of bamboo mattressy kind of thing, a pillow and a blanket. That's all that was in that apartment, And in many ways, my brother takes after my mom is different. She'll just wake up. I want the gazebo.
Jesus.
She said that once. She woke
Gazebo?
up one day and she goes,
$5,000 gazebo.
yeah, she goes, I want gazebo and koi fish. And my dad's like, no, I want one. Right? And then next thing you know, there's people building a gazebo with a koi fish thing, right? Just because my mom had this inclination or this, she just wants it.
So that's you. That's
My mom,
Yeah.
I want the red Corvette.
Jesus.
You guys had a Corvette?
Yes.
Oh
my
my
mom
God.
drove around
God.
in a red Corvette.
Oh
I want one.
Oh my
I want the red
Yes.
Corvette. And she got one.
I didn't know
I
that.
have the same kind of thing, I think.
Honda Accords, Honda Civics.
You for
Toyota
sure.
Camrys.
Yeah.
You for sure take after your mom. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
So do you think that, like when your brother speaks about your dad, he's very tender about it. Like he has like really deep emotions for your father. Do you think that he was closer to your dad than you were?
No, but I think that my brother was too young to really fully appreciate the and oh God, this pisses me fucking off when people say this. And here I go back into the anger. All right,
Careful, be happy.
I'm gonna be happy when I do it, right? But people go, you know what? Bobby plays the victim all the time.
Ooh, the face. That's the face.
What?
That's the face.
Hello? What? No. Nope. All right. I. You know what? There are things that happen to me that I can't even talk about, baby. There are things, and you know all the fucked up things I've said in my life, right?
That's all public too.
I've sucked dick as a
Okay.
kid. I was molested. My dad would be that's not even the worst part. The worst parts I can't even say, baby. You know what I mean? It's worse than having firecrackers in your butthole and lighting them up at the same times.
That's kind of erotic.
What?
Yeah.
Who did that happen to?
So what
Jules?
I'm saying is that my brother was too young to experience, my dad's heyday back in the day. You know what I mean? When he was at the top of his abuse game.
When he was killing
When he
the abuse game.
Yeah.
Damn, he was
No.
one of the best.
Yeah. He was the Tom Brady of, you know what I mean, of
he's-
abusing his family, you know.
Oh, a star. Yeah.
Yeah, he was killing it back then. His stats were way up. You know, my brother, you know what I mean, grew up with my dad when his stats were, he was coming down, a little bit. He was kind of like Rob Gronkowski, still, you know.
I'm gonna text your mom and
What?
about her Corvette.
I love Rob, by the way. And thanks for watching Game On, 8 p.m. CBS. Sometimes, you know.
Genie.
So another thing I want to now let's talk about what's been going on in our lives as of late.
Oh
as
yeah.
Of late.
Hold on, I'm texting your mommy. I'm gonna ask her about her Corvette.
A red Corvette. Wow. Your dad agreed to it without an argument?
Yeah.
That's wow.
Red Corvette. Red Corvette.
I read.
Okay.
Was she a fan? Was she a fan
have
of
sandals.
Prince?
I don't know.
Was she a Prince fan?
No, she doesn't know who Prince is. Guess what new pet we have?
I hope it's not a freaking crow or something.
We have a fucking crow living
And
with us now.
That's a crow lady. You're one of those bird ladies.
I'm gonna defend myself. I'm gonna
A
defend
fucking crow, baby.
That's
Brandon
not. I'm
Lee.
gonna defend myself. I have not brought the crow in. I feel like that's fucked up.
You did propose the idea.
I didn't propose it. I would never do that.
Okay, what? False accusations.
Crows are
no,
very.
she goes. She was kind of mulling it over in her head, like.
wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You were like, I can't actually bring it inside. Can I? Like
No,
that
no,
kind
no.
of a thing.
I wanted to splint its leg. So it has a broken leg. It landed in our balcony because it's been windy around here. We have a lot of crow families here.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea of living with a fucking crow.
Your face says otherwise.
I know my face. I know my face says otherwise. She boiled an egg
crow
You
egg?
build a house.
out of fucking cardboard that took 3 minutes. You boiled eggs. You give her like you not just fruit.
Mongol.
We don't have a lot of fruit. We get fruit shipped here, like not just a red delicious apple. We get Asian apples.
Asian pear.
Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah, you do.
No, I get a CSA box from the farmer's market.
Okay, but they're like they're exotic fruits, and she does. Yeah, she does. Yes, she does. She doesn't just.
I gotta know if these are exotic
She
fruits or not.
doesn't throw out a peach out
They're
there.
not Asian pears.
She
is what
doesn't
you're
throw out a
asking,
peach.
Gil.
She
Okay.
like sashimi slices them perfectly,
All right,
dices
chef.
them up, right?
All right, chef.
Yeah.
All right, chef.
On a plate, right? She'll dice it and make it all have the water, eggs,
Say
fruits.
like omakase for a
Yeah,
bird.
yeah, like multi-grain breads. I mean, she's. It's basically the 4 seasons for this
Like
crow.
Renee Redzepi,
He may
yeah.
never fucking leave. I believe fear. If the crow felt fear and urgency to get out of there, right? He'll leave sooner.
He's been trying.
So if we tapped on, right? If I held the cat, tapped on the fucking don't give him food or water. Tapped on the thing, and I'll go. 2 days. I looked at the crow. Looks at me. I go. You have 2 days before
The cat.
the cat. The crow would start doing exercises
was
to
working
get his
out.
shit. Working out to get his shit ready to go.
Physical therapy. Yeah.
But we're not doing that, are we? No. We're like, I built a bed. I took a skateboard T-shirt. I built a little bed and made it a little house. And we have all these things. That motherfucker ain't leaving for shit. She's acting like it's Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting out there.
Maybe they are.
Dude, like,
Matt
there's a
Damon the birds.
chalkboard.
You
and,
never know.
But here's the thing. Here's why I believe what you're saying. Also, because you read 500 books about it, is Game of Thrones. When they want to send a letter, they don't
They
send
send
a
a
horse.
raven.
They don't send a wolf. They send a raven.
They send a raven, and it's the Corvid family.
Yeah, it's a fucking fantasy, you fuckhole.
What do you
can
mean?
send messages with birds.
Yeah,
Babe, it's not a fantasy,
Don't bring up
wait.
Game of Thrones. There's also dragons that they fight. Do we do that?
But do the
Yeah, you
dragons
fucking-
send messages? No, the
Hang on.
raven does.
White Walker. Oh, we have those.
If
we have White Walkers.
If we
have one
had-
on the screen right now. Let me say something. Let me finish. Okay. I thought you were going to bring up what I said about the squids last night. It was so embarrassing.
Can you
What
please
about
bring
the
it up?
squids?
About the mirror testing.
You bring it up, Bobby.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you bring it up, you
So-
own it. If you bring it up, you own it. You can bring it up.
shit.
So
You bring it
yesterday we were having dinner with Jules, him and I. We were talking about the mirror test and animals that pass the mirror test.
And she's saying
And I was
crows
like, I think
pass.
that crows, and I think that octopus are very intelligent. They are very self-aware and whatnot. And he goes, that's crazy. He's like, how do they test that? Does a scientist just dive under the ocean and put a mirror in front of an octopus? Like, sincerely, this is the question he asked.
I was like, what do they do? All right, let's time. Grab the mirror. And they go all the way to the bottom of the ocean. Right? And they just try to find a squid and they do that. But then I thought that was dumb because maybe they just do it at the SeaWorld.
And then me and Jules were like laughing so hard, like, and he could not realize why his question sounded absurd until it finally hit like 10 minutes later. He was like, oh yeah, they could just do it in aquariums, couldn't they?
Yeah, I literally thought that they did that. It didn't make any sense to me. And how does like squids even know that that's they're looking? How do they find that out?
Wait,
How do we know that they know?
How do they know? How do we know that
Look,
they look in the mirror and go, oh, I look good today?
Look,
You know what I mean?
my
eyebrows are beautiful.
That
It
pisses you
reminds me, I brought a girlfriend to Mama's Fish House
in Maui.
in Maui.
So
And
good.
we were sitting there and she goes, I don't want fish.
Okay.
And my eyeballs almost popping out of my skull. Like cartoony. You know what I mean? Like I was enraged. I
Wait.
hate it.
What did she order? Chicken?
She didn't eat it all.
All right.
I think she had a salad. I'll just have a salad. What's
Oh wait, if she's a vegetarian,
No,
that's
she
one
wasn't.
thing.
She's not
Oh.
a vegetarian.
You're in
She
Hawaii,
wanted to
lady.
spite me. Because I was like, we have to go here all week long. We have to go here. And then we get there. It's like, I just want a salad. It's my biggest pet peeve. You know, try it. I'm the first, if they say, you know, hey, monkey balls is the best here. Monkey balls? I'll try it one time. I'll break into this fucking testicle shell and have the testicle ooze seep into my mouth.
A testicle
Imagine
shell?
the goo in a monkey ball. You crack into it and it squirts into your mouth. Oh, gross.
I don't think that's how
Is there
balls
goo?
work. No, there's no goo. It's a fucking testicle.
I've never had it before.
Do you think
I
you have
just
goo
imagine
inside
it.
your testicles? You have goo inside your testicles?
Well, when I sometimes play with it, goo comes out.
That's blood.
Or-
Sir, see a doctor.
But eventually, what happens? Let's say let me just throw this scenario out there that
God.
a month goes by and he's just hanging out.
Is
You
he
know
healed?
how birds hang. They're hanging out, right, just hanging out, right. And he's like, you know what I mean, eating all the sashimi, whatever we give him, right. Bring me more, baby. You know what I mean? He's like that guy, right?
Yeah.
I will pick it by the neck and throw it off the fucking balcony.
No, you won't.
I won't do that, but that's extreme. That was extreme. That was
kidding,
crazy.
Peter.
That's
We're kidding,
crazy.
Peter.
That was crazy what I just said.
What the fuck?
No, that was crazy time.
That was a
just
turn off. My
angered her.
vagina dried so
I-
much.
so-
I may
so
never
I-
have sex with you again.
No, I would love it. I would love it. But
I just imagine the crow with like little tiny bird floaties and like a little tiny bird bath just made just for it, just living the Hollywood life.
and there's the comedy.
The bird bath.
There's the comedy from George right there.
Khalyla wants a bird bath.
Let that sink in.
I thought it was cute.
They're all
George.
laughing at home. They're all laughing at home.
Just let it sink in.
Gilbert had to
Let-
remove himself off screen.
Just what he said. What did he say, Gilbert? Bird bath?
Wait, well, first it was the decibel volume.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, a little bird floaties. Yeah.
Just let it sink. Just let it sink in, man.
I like it.
Let's have a moment of silence.
Sipping Mai Tai.
Let's have a moment of silence
Jesus.
for that joke. I'm kidding. That
Like
was
at the
good.
beginning
I
of
love
Ferris
it, George.
Bueller's Day
Keep
Off.
throwing it out there, baby. I love you. It's all about risk.
You got a bat.
It's all about risk versus reward, baby.
I don't like when you do that.
I know. I love it. Because
The
George
next door
knows I
crow
love him.
stepmoms comes
George.
over in a little bikini.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's
Oh,
not
he's
done.
doubling down.
He's doubling down, guys. He's doubling down.
Doubling down.
He said
I love
crow in a
it.
bikini.
I love your own yes and.
Yeah. Try to do one more, George.
Come on, George.
Oh, shit.
Oh, come
Oh, I failed myself.
Oh, man. Why are we doing this thing?
I don't care. We're not gonna continue until you
He
come
could
up
have
with one
said,
more.
George, umbrella.
No. Don't use umbrella. Go ahead.
Mai Tai next door. What? There's nothing else that can heighten this.
Oh, okay.
There is.
All right.
No,
Anyway,
And Bobby's out there with a little cabana umbrella holding it over the Little Leonard the Crow.
Come on, margarita mix.
I'm okay
with
with
a little
imagery.
fan.
Yeah.
And keeping him cool. Maybe spritzing him off with like one of those little fans with little spritzer waters.
Okay, very descriptive.
Just,
A little
just let that
waiter
sink in, guys.
towel.
Just let it sink in. Anyway,
Leonard, would you like- I don't think it's sunk in. I don't know.
I love it. I love you, George. I love it. So, what do we do though? So a month goes by. What do we do?
What do you mean? If
Do we
no,
call
no,
it
I don't.
service?
For starters, I'm not waiting a month. I'm already in contact with a wildlife rescue. If I have to somehow capture him, get his legs splinted and rehabilitated, that's what I'll do. But my point in like seeing if he'll get better on his own is because I don't want to separate him from his family. His family is circling above, like they.
Oh yeah,
see
they
him.
do come. They do come.
They come by.
They come by and they
check on him.
They check on him and they sit down and they'll eat some of the food that's not that for them. That's fine.
I don't.
I'll let it slide. But it's not for you, John. All right, it's for fucking Leonard, the one that we're harboring or adopted. You know. But so eventually, what they come by and they go, all right, off you go, Leonard. I mean, because my whole balcony is white shit now.
I know. But Jules and I are cleaning it today.
Okay.
We have to clean it every day. The white poo because
white poo.
it's not good.
And
to
why
have.
is it white? Have you ever thought about that?
My shit's not white. Khalyla,
No,
expert?
but we just fed
My
it.
shit's white.
We
Not
fe-
expert.
But I wonder why it's always so white. They eat nuts and shit that we eat.
Here's the answer. The answer lies in the fact that birds, unlike mammals, don't produce urine. Instead, they excrete nitrogenous waste in the form of uric acid.
This is what she was telling me, and I agree with her. I nod my head. I go, okay, if that doesn't make any sense, but okay. This what Khalyla thinks is Leonard was, his wing was busted up, his leg was all fucked up. He's like, oh shit, I can't fly anymore. I have to land. I have to let this shit heal. But he flew around our houses and went, I'm gonna land on that one because I like those people. But I like to tell you about my future, if I may.
What's your future about?
So I'm going to let people know that when is Bobby Lee going to go out and do the road? And I have made a decision. I am going to start going on the road in September.
Nice.
And I'm tired of fucking you pieces of good people out there.
Hold on. You said you pieces of shit good people out there.
Did you see I shifted?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
pieces
very
of good
pieces
people.
of fucking good people
Good people out there.
All
You have
right.
an accent too.
Are saying, I've read some comments. Bobby Lee's afraid. He let the coronavirus, instill fear in him because he won't go out. There's a lot of things that I have a lot of character defects. I really do. Khalyla knows about them.
Do you?
It's in her face.
I
every day.
accept them.
It's
She
in
accepts
her
them.
face.
I receive it. I accept it. I can. I will.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And I
frailties
will.
I have, but I have performed in front of 20,000 people before and gotten booed off stage, and then chose to do the same show the next night. All right, if you call that fear, you can call that fear, but I do have fears in my life. But I've always gone out and I've tried to live my life to the best of my ability and to walk through very scary situations. And I've done that in my life. I know that for a fact. I was petrified when I was 28 years old, 29 years old, when I was asked to do Jay Leno. I did stand up on Jay Leno.
What did you wear? And how
I
did
wore
you?
brown Dickies.
Who chose it?
I did. I had no money, so I used to wear brown Dickies, skate shoes, and a black thermal shirt. Right? So I kind of look like a...
Who went with you that day?
My brother Steve, my manager, and my agent, who are still my manager and agents. And I remember being behind the curtain, and I remember Jay saying beforehand, he goes, well, don't worry about it. Only 16 million people are going to watch. And I go, oh, yeah? Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. And I remember being behind that curtain and hearing Jay go, so this next comic come to the stage,
Oh, not bad.
it's his first national television appearance. He performs at he's a regular at the Comedy Store here in Hollywood, California. Bobby Lee. And I remember walking so scared. You don't know what that's like, people. It's all the moisture from your mouth is gone.
Did they give you only one shot?
You get one shot.
They don't. There's no.
There's no do-over.
Really?
There's no do-over. You do what you do.
I thought it was edited.
Yeah, I thought that too. I
Oh,
was like,
really?
okay,
Have
let's
you
start
done it, fuckface?
Yeah, I did Craig Ferguson. I did okay.
Oh, you did, dude, Craig?
No, I did. I missed that guy.
I did too. So, there's no do-over, and your mouth is dry, and you go out there, and you see, the first thing you see is the lights, right? Then the next thing you see is the audience. And then the third thing you see, which is the most petrifying, is the cameras. Because you have like 4 or 5 cameras, And then you're highly aware that Jay Leno and I think it was Christina Ricci was the guest before me. So they're sitting there just, And I remember going to the mic, holding the mic, going, uh-oh, that's not a good thought. But that's the first thing that entered my mind. Uh-oh. And then just having this overwhelming feeling of adrenaline. And going, your life depends on this. This is, in people's lives, you have moments where you have to deliver. You have moments where instinctually that you have to hit the ball because you get one chance. And at that time, I had no money. I had no future. I barely was with the agency that I was with. I had no money, and I had to do it. All right, so if you're saying that Bobby Lee is living in fear, go fuck yourself. Sorry for saying it that way, and you're good. You guys are pieces of good human beings.
I want to take a survey.
But come out to the shows.
Come out to the shows. But that's not the point. The reason why I don't go out and stuff isn't necessarily will I beat the virus or whatnot. Is I'm just trying to be mindful about other people. Because I know this, if my mom got it, she's dead. My mom's 80 years old. She's held as moderately good for her age, but she's an old lady. She could die.
She's 80?
Yeah.
Damn, she looks young.
Thank you. My point is that it's not for me. It's for I don't want, my fans to go out to my shows early on who have a physical condition that I'm not aware of, and they get the COVID at my show. So I'm just trying to be mindful about that kind of stuff. But so I've made a decision. I'm going to go in September because I'm not afraid. I need to go out there. I want to see everybody.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about this story about the guy that I helped get on a stand-up television show and he bombed?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
I've said it on this podcast?
Yes. I remember it, but you can tell it again.
Television show. Okay, no.
Did I ever say this, George?
I remember it.
I don't remember.
He doesn't also remember what your elementary school was, so move on.
Yeah,
babe.
also, I'm not going to say names because I think it's mean. So I'm not going to say names. And I'll make it quick. I was asked to do a television show to do stand-up. And I said, I'll only do it, because I had already done it before, I'll only do it if you put my friend on, who's also a stand-up. And they go, yeah, but, we don't know him. I go, yeah, no, but he's good. And at the time, I hung out with him a lot. So they go, all right. So the night of the show, I'm sitting there. I going to tell you the story? I'm sitting there. I had picked him up to go do the TV show. So we go to the place, and I go up, and I do okay. And then, so all the comics are in a room with a monitor watching the show, right? Because when you do a show like this, a stand-up show, they just film 6 shows in a night with the same audience sometimes. Sometimes they switch out the audience. So my friend is about to go up that I begged to get on the show. And I'm sitting there with a bunch of comics. They introduce my friend. He goes up to the spot mic. He opens his mouth, and nothing comes out. For 45 seconds. Ooh. He goes like this. He goes...
that would be me.
And he can't talk. And then eventually he starts getting, he's starting. At that point, it's too late. The audience half the audience has gone up to go to the bathroom.
He froze.
That's sad.
That would have been me.
But
absolutely.
what I did was equally as mean. I left him there.
You did?
Yeah, I drove him there. So what he had to do, he had to wait to the end of the night, and he got a ride from Joey Diaz.
like you left him.
Hold on,
I picked him up to go to the show.
because you wanted to dissociate
I
from
was
him.
so livid because he made me look like a fool.
Yeah, but he probably felt like a fool.
I know, and I apologized to him 1,000 times.
My God, you're cruel.
I am
babe.
cruel, but because you have to understand, like I'm sitting there behind the monitor, and I'm with the people that I go, you got to put my friend on,
The producers,
right?
yeah.
And so he opens his mouth, nothing comes out, and now you could hear in the green room people start going, oh no, right? And I'm sitting there blushing, and I'm now the people that I said yes to, I turned to them, and they're kind of looking at me like. The whole night was a nightmare. They wouldn't pay him either because he needed money too. They wouldn't pay him. You know, at the end of the show, everyone gets invited on stage to wave to the audience. He wasn't invited onto the stage. And he had to wait there all night long. It was a terrible night for him. But then a couple of years later, I was just watching television, and I watched Premium Blend. And he was on it.
Wow.
And he's also had many specials now after that. But his Premium Blend was so powerful, I cried. It was like night and day. He especially when he went to the mic, I could see he just talked right away.
Confidence.
He's like, "What's up?" He just went in there and just started talking. And it was a lesson to learn. And I've had many of those experiences.
Wait,
But
wait, hang
And
on.
that's the story of Trevor Noah.
that's But that was before. Also, I had lived a completely different life after that. What happened after that in my own personal life is that my career died. So
That does not laughing matter, Gilbert.
my career absolutely died for very many, many, many years, where I couldn't get anything, I couldn't get gigs. It was terrible. So maybe karma got me, and I've learned from that. Am I like that today? I am not. Yeah, I mean, one time I remember flying to New York and to audition for. They flew me to New York to audition for
Larry Wilmore.
Larry Wilmore's
Show, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I remember going in there, and there was, the cast of people that are on those shows now, those types of people were auditioning. I remember doing it, just eating it. And then I remember it was raining in New York, waiting in the rain. And I remember, this is so, I can say it. So, Vince Vaughn doesn't like me. We all know this. I've already said it.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
How do you know how he feels today?
I don't know.
though?
I don't know how he feels
Probably
now.
loves you.
I don't know. But I remember at the time he didn't.
Yeah.
And I remember him and Kevin James were promoting a movie. And I was in the rain, right? Soaking rain. And Kevin James's manager is best friends with my manager.
Yeah.
So Jeff comes up to me, gives me a hug. He goes, we just got to go. And I remember Kevin and Finn, they don't even look at me. They just walk by. They get in this limo and they drive off. And I remember having to stand in that rain for like another hour before like someone picked me up. Or whatever.
Oh, and that's right. And your suitcase exploded.
Yeah, my suitcase exploded. It was
That's why we have the Rimowa, the green one now, because you had to buy that in New York.
Yeah, it was
because it
terrible,
exploded in the
it was
rain.
a terrible time.
And
I
he had
remember
to
just
walk
being
to the
called.
audition with like a plastic bag of his
Oh my God, it was
overnight
a nightmare.
clothes.
So you live and you learn, but but it was some bad times there. I think what are we doing on?
We can get
time?
to unhelpful
We got a lot.
advice.
Oh,
Go ahead.
never mind. Okay. Anyways.
Unhelpful advice with Bobby and Khalyla.
Hi, TigerBelly. I've been a big fan for a couple months now, and I love listening to your podcast to inspire and make me laugh. Thank you all. I'm at the end of the year of high school, about to go to university. I'm really anxious about finding friends because I didn't have any meaningful relationships in high school. And even when I thought I did, they ended up abandoning me. So for the last year, I've ate lunch in bathroom stalls by myself, and sometimes I don't even eat. I've always tried to be truthful. Maybe I was too outspoken about weird things, and I don't know if I should try to change that about myself to make myself more acceptable as a friend. I told them about my dreams and things I'm working towards in the future, and it put pressure on me that they abandoned me to work harder. They abandoned me to work harder and to really go for it. Now I have trust issues with friends, and I feel like I should be alone in the process of following my dreams because it makes me more hungry to succeed at the end of the time. It makes me hungrier to succeed, but at the same time, I feel lonely and sad. How should I go about university? Should I chase my dreams in the dark until I succeed? Josh, I'm 17.
You first.
In my high school, Poway High School, we had this thing called the senior wall. So basically, it was like this kind of in the middle of our campus was this big brick wall, but there was like steps to it. So seniors would sit there and eat lunch, and you would have to walk by them, right? So it was basically the epicenter of that whole quad in the middle of the campus was where, all the kids sat, right?
Upperclassmen, cool.
But you could
kids.
go off on these little nooks and crannies is where all the heshers and I went to the back of the school, right? And I would eat my lunch, with one person or by myself. I didn't feel uncomfortable at the senior wall. I just preferred it. There was moments back then when I was young where I was more into philosophical ideas, what's life all about, and also being more introspective and kind of gravitating toward more characters like Catcher in the Rye, or Holden Caulfield, or reading books like Notes from the Underground, or just I was just very existential about how I viewed life and how I viewed the meaningless of life and being alone. And also, I expressed that I was kind of an incel, like I couldn't get girls. And so, but...
Did that ever make you feel like you wanted to hate girls?
No.
Then you're not an incel. You were never an incel. Don't call yourself that.
I was.
You were not. Just
I wanted
because
to
you
fuck
can't.
and I wanted to fuck me.
Yeah, but
didn't hate girls.
being an incel is a completely different thing than not getting laid.
I thought incel was a celebrate, unintentional...
No. It's a group of people who are obviously like celibate, but who have a
Deep
burning
resentment towards
rage
women.
and resentment towards women.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I mean,
You did. Okay.
I always found it baffling that, like, I remember back then thinking, abused wives who stay in those. I didn't get all that stuff, right? I thought, I know, like, I remember having like jocks, girlfriends, like friends of mine, and I would listen to them talk and go, yeah, I mean, all I care about is I want a partner who's extremely funny, you're right, and then you're like, but you're dating Tom. That's the most unfunniest guy, you know what I mean?
Tom DeLonge, though, babe. Who
Not
went to
Tom DeLonge,
Poway
but
High
some
School.
other Tom. Right?
You
Jimmy.
know?
You're dating
UFO
Jimmy.
Tom.
The guy that thinks that, like, lighting his farts on fire is funny.
It's funny.
It is funny, I know.
It is very funny.
But, like,
That
I was
example.
like, even back then, I was way funnier than them.
I see the point. Yeah.
Right? And it's like, no. And I always looked at that, but then, I accepted my situation. And also, I look back in those times as happy times for some reason. I miss some of that. I miss some of that struggle and some of that me against the world kind of thing. So, dude, I just think that, youth and young age, some kids have a lot of confidence, but a lot of kids, they get their shine on in their 20s. And some kids get their shine on in their 30s.
Or even in their 40s.
Or in their 40s. Like, I think I got my shine on in my 40s.
I agree.
So did George, right?
George.
So my point is that it'll happen. And when it happens, it feels great. But also you'll look back in your life and go, God, I missed some of those times. I've been thinking about Warzone, just real quick. I want to end it with it. Why I like it. It is a time for me to bond with my brother Steve. It is a time, Gilbert and I feel like have grown closer because of the game. I don't really talk to him ever, but now, I talk. We do. We talk way more now.
But our moments are before the camera when we do talk.
I know, but we don't talk as much as we do now.
True.
There's quirks about you that I learned from the game, and hearing things and how you. I didn't know much about you until the game.
Yeah.
Basically, put it this way is what he said. This is what he said. He's like, I don't know
Khalyla
why.
invested in my. Go ahead.
He's like, I just respect Gilbert more now.
From winning a game.
Yeah.
Not all the good deeds you've done for us all throughout this year's guild.
No, I respect you now.
Thank you, man. I appreciate now.
I respect your gameplay. I respect your leadership. I expect your bravery and your courage.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, you, Mr.
Yeah.
RPG. Thank you, Mr.
No,
RPG.
I'm learning to do other things as well. So let's let's hope that a new role playing game comes out so I can fucking quit that dumb fucking game.
Hey, what's a hesher again?
Like a stoner.
Hesher? I've never heard that.
Anyway.
Like Sean Penn in Fast Times.
I love that guy.
But
I
was
love
that a
part.
Hesher?
Yes. Anyway, thanks for listening to another episode of Tiger Belly. We love you guys so much, and we really do. And this is my family, and I love connecting with you guys. And hopefully, in the near future, when I go on the road, we can meet.